First moment he came in, I just knew there was something different about him. You know, we're playing the old course yesterday, just a little bit of a different sound off his golf ball, and that was there from a young age.
Just watching the standard of golf he's playing at now is a thing that excites me. He's such a perfectionist, he's so driven to success and very competitive.
Now and again, I might have a little check to see how I'm doing and where I'm sitting, but I don't try and get too worried up about what everyone else is doing. Obviously, if you get off to a good start here, it gets you into a better spot and almost takes a little pressure off for the next couple.
Pushing himself, he was great at taking notes and just kind of knowing how to get the best out of his game. But he's a fierce competitor, and he had that from the very first moment he walked into that bay.
Always love it coming back to St Andrews and getting that links test. Played it maybe 2 or 3 times before. Didn't manage to play last year, but played the 2 or 3 years before it.
We got the boys into golf very early doors, just from the ages of two or three, I suppose, when they had plastic clubs hitting about the back garden. For Connor, he was a good wee tennis player, and then he just had good eye and coordination, and he kind of gave up golf for a wee while, but then he just kind of got back into it when he was 12, 13, and then just golf was the thing for him. He just loved it.
Straight away, like he was always up against it, being the youngest person. Key moments probably were when he started to hit it a little bit further, you know, and he could get it as far as his dad and his brother, and he was able to then compete. For me, I'm a great believer in environments. You know, we're obviously here in the home of golf in this amazing facility. Some of the latest and best teaching technologies here. So Connor was, from a young age, been practicing here, had this at his fingertips all the time. This environment, like having a nice mix of everything, nice balance, is helping him, you know, develop. And now that's gone on in Texas Tech, and as well as windy over there as well, but he's learned to combat heat, carrying the bags, playing 36 holes in incredible conditions and against some of the best players in the world.
You know, 1 minute you're on the cut line, and you're, you know, one swing here or there, you're missing the cut. Same for the elite amateurs, because they want to be making Walker Cup size, and so it'll come down to performance. Very condensed at the elite amateur level and professional golf.
It was one of my personal goals of trying to have a player playing that Walker Cup, and, you know, on home soil here. For him to be the youngest participant and to kind of see him bounce around and just take in his stride, I just thought was incredible.
Selected for the Walker Cup 3 years ago here at St Andrews. That was, you know, a pretty big moment for me, being able to make that team at quite a young age. I mean, there's only 3 events, so you need to kind of play pretty good in all of them, and then obviously if you get off to a good start here, it gets you into a better spot and almost takes a little pressure off for the next couple.
Carried from a bit last year, obviously the British amateur, basically just there to take the weight off his back.
In the past, I wouldn't say it's worked as much, because I used to be a little bit of a hothead. I'd say that's improved a lot, so it's been, I feel like we don't argue as much on the course, but so far so good. I'd say it's been working pretty well. Most of the decisions are kind of down to me. If I'm confused or not sure, I'll ask him for help, but I'd say most of the time the final decision just comes to how I'm feeling over the shot.
As a dad, I was finding it difficult, because he's very hot-headed. There's no question. He's such a perfectionist. He's so driven to success and very competitive that it just comes out, and it's over after the round. He's incredible, the fact he can just put it to bed after a round, good or bad, and he's moved on to something else.
It's nice having the family around. I mean, I haven't really seen them the last few months, been over in the States, so it's nice being back home and almost a little bit more back to normal, what used to be having them following and watching around. Really, you know, affect me too much. It's nice them walking around, because I know they like it most of the time if I'm playing well, but yeah, it's nice having them back.
It's fickle. I mean, it's so tough, really. The standard of golf in this event is incredible. Some of the best amateurs in the world.
I know Connor since the age of 8 years old, when he came over here and got his first lesson off me.
Working with him since I've been, you know, like 8 or 9, so it's been really good. You know, it's been helped me a lot with swing and stuff, so there's not too many people that knows my swing better than he does, and just making sure everything's sorted out coming back home now.
I think he's a remarkable talent. A very, very focused young man, even from a young age, just how he's able to kind of dedicate his time and sacrifice some social commitments or going out with his friends or whatever to just go and work hard and tirelessly on his game was incredible. And he had that from such a young age and really did separate him from the rest. And it's great to see him starting to achieve a lot, both on this side of the pond as well as over in the University of Texas.
I mean, I've always seen it since he's been very young and very talented young golfer. We were having good games off probably scratch, no shots when he was maybe 13, 14, but as soon as he started going 15 and hitting it quite a bit past me, then I had to start picking up shots. So.
Despite that small frame of his, he's an incredibly explosive guy, and he's one of the longest guys in the field here this week. And it's definitely one of his separators, just the distance he hits the ball. And we know, even at the Open last year, just to see him and the ball speed he's generating.
He won about 8 or 9 events. He won the Paul Laurie event at Stephen Gallagher. He won the European Junior Open, and you could definitely tell he had an eye for the game, there's no question.
Played in the wind a lot. I know how to play in the wind, and some people kind of see that forecast and kind of get down. It's pretty difficult because you end up in some spots you never thought you'd get to when it's 30 mile an hour downwind. So it's more just you kind of have to take a second to think where you're going to hit it and how much this wind's going to affect it. So there's a little more thinking involved. I'd certainly say I prefer when it's not as windy. If I know it's that windy, you kind of just know the scoring's not going to be good and just try and plot your way around. Once you get up to the greens, it's just about knowing where you can and can't hit it, because there's some pins out there where you can't be really too aggressive to, because if you get short-sighted, it's pretty dead. So.
When he qualified for the Open last year, it was questionably one of the best experiences, I think.
I made a putt to qualify, and then it's kind of weird, that feeling when you're like, geez, I'm going to the Open in a couple of weeks. It was pretty cool getting to experience something like that. Such a huge event. I mean, the nerves on that first tee were just ridiculous, but overall the experience was good.
Being able to hold that club in that first tee, being that age, in front of all those people, and I know he took it in his stride.
I don't think there's a harder shot in golf than that first tee shot at Royal Portrush, and super experience. Hopefully it's the first of many times to play in that tournament.
If I played well, I could have done solid, but I mean, I definitely did feel out of place. Just knowing, I mean, all the best golfers in the world were there just on the range. It's nice coming home to a place where I've played all my life, so I mean, it's nice not having to take too many notes because you know the course that well, but yeah, it's definitely nice coming back home. I'd say I'm in a pretty good spot going into Sunday. I mean, since it's 36 holes, there's a lot of golf to do, so just have to try and stay patient and just try and not force anything and just try and put 2 solid rounds again.
Yeah, I know. Halfway through the tournament, and I think, as I say, just watching the standard of golf he's playing at now is a thing that excites me. So hopefully he can go on and have 2 fantastic rounds tomorrow and see where it takes him. When I got my links ticket, then Connor, was a member here at St Andrews. Played a lot of his golf here at St Andrews, always his coach from here, so Connor's been working with him for 10 years, so they've spent many weekends at St Andrews, so I think coming here and today, the friends and family out supporting, and there's maybe that wee bit extra pressure and expectations to do really well, but I think today he handled himself amazingly well.
Not just a long hitter of the ball, but he's incredibly straight. He hits a beautiful little fade, and that really is. It's not that it's overly aggressive play all the time, it's just, he can call on it when he needs to.
If I'm driving it well, it comes down to approaches a lot, and I feel like I can wedge it, pretty close, because there's a lot of wedges. If my wedges are on, you can give yourself a lot of looks and make a lot of birdies. And
that then, I feel, has been a great help for him turning his iron play into one of the best pieces of his game, and also a very, very important part of the game.
Usually been my putt, and that's improved a lot this year. I think it's still a little streaky, so just making sure it's on more times.
Here again this week, back to his roots, you know, kind of recalibrating and just getting back into, you know, flighting the ball for the next few weeks that he has ahead of him. I think he's incredible talent. I think he's an absolute incredible talent. And at the Open, Bob McIntyre went up to his father and he said, "God, that kid's pretty impressive, like unbelievable." And then Bob's father nicely said to Stuart Graham and said that, "Oh, Bob doesn't usually speak like as highly or praise somebody as highly as he praised your young lad there, so you have a lot to be proud of."
You can definitely see there, you know, in the last couple of days that carrying for again this year, he is maturing all the time and learning.
A win here will be fantastic. Like winning on a Sunday in St Andrews on the old course is special. It would really set him up for, you know, his goal is get back there to the Open, you know, to try and, you know, win that silver medal. And I know this is the first hurdle to overcome, but if you win here and, you know, where he's grown up, where he's played all his golf, where he's done all his Scottish golf training, I know it'll be a very, very special one for him.
In the morning it was going pretty good. So I mean it was difficult. And there wasn't too many chances because it was just a crosswind for most of the day, so it wasn't like you were getting too many holes helping, so it was definitely difficult to pick up birdies. Knowing that the whole front nine was going to be basically straight downwind, I knew that's where the birdies were, but I mean you don't try and force birdies, but I mean it's just knowing there, I just try to put myself in the best position possible to make a birdie. Since it was playing so long, it's just trying to avoid the silly mistakes, just trying to keep away from those bunkers and just try to hit it into the fat side of the greens and just make pars, because that back nine, I mean, you'd take 9 pars out there with how tough it was playing.
Having the links ticket here and access to the 8 courses we have here, it really kind of helps him become more of a complete player, you know, so he's able to play in parkland courses, he's able to use the length that we have here, or else even how much his problem solving improves on courses like we have here at St Andrews. He has to adapt to the adverse weather conditions we have, or some of those steep bunkers that we can be put in front of.
It was very different because as soon as you switch, instead of your driver going 370, you're all of a sudden having to worry about bunkers that are 260. So it's a little different, just knowing and trying to just stay away from them, because as soon as you get in a bunker, it's basically a one-shot penalty. So just trying to make sure you have a shot to the green. And I don't worry about the leaderboards too much. I mean, every now and again I might have a little check to see how I'm doing and where I'm sitting, but I don't try and get too worried up about what everyone else is doing.
Next steps are, you know, getting through our busy schedule here that he has in front of him, and then getting back to Texas Tech. He obviously, fingers crossed, he'll be at the Walker Cup in Hinch in Ireland in September. And then for there, he's into his 3rd year and keep working up the rankings and hopefully obtain that PGA Tour card. That is his ultimate goal, and he's looking to try and do that over the next 2 years.
Next couple of years, hopefully just have a couple more good years in college, try and get a spot on the PGA Tour or Corn Ferry from the PGAU, and then just kind of see where it goes from there.
You can just imagine, you know, what a bright future this kid has ahead of him. You just need to, you know, you don't know what the future what lies ahead, but certainly with his current work ethic and the team he has around him and the environment he's in, you know, sky's the limit, I believe.